Hey guys, and welcome to Performance Cars. So today I have teamed up with Woody's Garage, who are a specialist in Japanese imports. He has given me this Facelift JDM Civic Type R EP3. I'll leave all his details in the description below, so check out his website. So let's go take a look around. So the Facelift JDM Civic Type R EP3 weighs in at 1,189 kilograms, 2,621 pounds. So if you guys have been keeping up with my reviews, you would have noticed that I have done a review on the UKDM Civic Type R EP3 finished in Nighthawk Black. But this is of course the JDM version, facelift in Championship White. So this of course has those facelift headlights, front grille, front bumper, and these super rare optional extra front fog lights. You can see it stamped by Honda down there, and they really stand out from the rest of the car with that purple and yellow effect. So we move on down to the side. These have Championship White alloy wheels, wrapped in Avon ZZ5 205 45 17s, and it has the Type R embossed calipers. So you guys in the UK would have indicators on the wing mirrors, but all JDM models do not. Neither do they have them on the side wings. If it does, then it means that it has been cut out and installed to pass certain tests. We have JDM wind deflectors. The rear three windows are tinted. We have the Type R spoiler, facelift rear lights, original twin tailpipes from Honda, and the Union Jack emblem. Now, why does this have a Union Jack emblem? That is because all JDM EP3s are built in the Swindon UK plant, shipped over to Japan, and obviously this model has been imported back to the UK. Just before we move inside, this car has the chassis code etched onto a number of the windows, which I think is pretty cool. But once inside, this is exactly the same as a Premier Edition. So we have the red and black door cards, the matching Recaro seats, the red carpets with the red mats, and this one has this carbon fiber door sill, which I think is pretty rare. But on Japanese exclusive models we have folding mirrors, which is that button there, a Momo leather steering wheel. The cluster itself, very similar to the UKDM model, but this is obviously in kilometers and reads up to 190. Center console, more or less identical, except for we have climate control, so that's pretty neat. And everything else is more or less the same. Type R number on this is 28,558. And one last thing, this has the super rare optional extra footwell light. Into the rear of the car, the seats are slightly different to the UKDM model. It does not have the headrest at the top of the seats, and it has seat belts for two rear passengers. Apart from the JDM differences mentioned before, we now have a K20A engine. This has 212 brake horsepower as opposed to 197 in the K20A2, and this is thanks to a balanced crankshaft, different intake manifold, exhaust manifold from the DC5, higher lift cams, higher compression pistons, and ECU programming. We also have a helical LSD as standard in the gearbox, so this should make it pretty interesting to drive. Let's take it for a spin. This JDM EP3 really does pull. Although it's only got about 10 to 15 brake horsepower more than the UK one, it feels about the same, to be honest. But it definitely is amazing. Just waiting for that VTEC. I'm in 4th gear. There we have it. Just keeps Well, I think they're exactly the same, aren't they? Turning it in. That LSD really helps to pull you into the corners. So we just give the handling one more go. Into VTEC, we're in second. Onto the brakes. Just loves to rev all the way. We'll be hard onto the brakes again. Truly amazing. So being the JDM EP3, I've already been through the stuff that you get with this one, and it's just nice having the auto climate control. Just stick them both into auto, select your temperature, and the car does all the work for you. The gear shifter, it feels exactly the same as the UK one, so no differences there. Same like the steering as well. In the Premier Edition, everything is more or less exactly the same. The brakes, just like I said about the UK ones, they could be slightly better, but these are standard at the end of the day. But what truly makes this one stand out from the UK one has got to be the LSD and the engine. It just revs so much more easily compared to the UK one, and round corners you can put your foot down earlier onto the throttle and it just pulls you around it. So easy to drive, so much fun. If you were to drive this JDM model, the only real things that you would notice to remind yourself that this is the Japanese one are that the wing mirrors are white, you have kilometers on the speedometer, wind deflectors, and that auto climate control. To really notice the difference between the JDM model and the UK one, you almost have to be on the limit of the car to actually feel the differences. If you're just trotting along, you won't feel it at all. So coming onto this third gear, minimal steering movements, but the car responds to it really well. So the question has got to be, is the JDM EP3 worth it compared to the UK one? Because this one is definitely more expensive than the UK ones. Well, it depends if you are a hardcore JDM fan. You still get owners of the UK ones upgrading to JDM wind deflectors, getting the HIDs as standard, which this one has by the way, and your optional footwell lights. So it's just those little extras that people still upgrade their own cars to try to become a JDM model. So yes, I would pay the extra for a JDM Facelift EP3. And of course, I know a few of you guys out there will be saying, well, I could just buy a UK EP3 and put on the extra money that I've saved and create a JDM EP3. But to be honest, at the end of the day, that wouldn't be a genuine JDM version. So guys, I want to say a big thank you to Woody at Woody's Garage for letting me drive one of his cars. Don't forget to check out his website because he's always updating his inventory of cars that he has imported from Japan. And of course, they are all for sale. So don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Take care, drive safely, and I'll see you guys soon. What's up guys, welcome to Performance Cars. So after that epic trip to Germany where we visited the Nürburgring and KW Suspension Factory and Tech Art, well, I did about 3,000 kilometers in this S2000. So I finally gave it a good clean and the wax it deserves. And upon doing that, when I came to do the front driver's wheel, I noticed something strange.